Welcome to the Gym Success Podcast. We're really glad you could join us today.
Yeah, hello everyone.
This podcast is definitely for you if you're a gym owner, maybe an operator, manager, salesperson, even a gym entrepreneur or a personal trainer. I'm Bonnie.
And I'm George. Today we're diving into, well, a really insightful white paper by gym business expert Jim Thomas.
That's right. It's called Stop Building a Gym Business That Traps You: How to Build a Fitness Business That Sets You Free. And our goal really is simple.
Yeah, we want to pull out some actionable insights for you, things you can actually use to, change things up in your business and maybe even your life.
Exactly, because a lot of gym owners, they start with this big dream, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It's usually about freedom,
Yeah.
Flexibility, making good money, and often really wanting to make a difference through fitness. That's the core passion.
But then reality hits, and Jim Thomas points out how that dream can kind of morph into something else entirely.
Yeah, it twists. Instead of a business that works for them, the gym becomes this monster, right? Demanding, all-consuming, like a job you can never clock out of.
It's a classic trap. You end up stuck inside this thing that only functions because you're there holding it all together.
Totally. So if any of that sounds familiar,
Mhm.
this session is definitely for you. Jim Thomas really argues, quite convincingly, I think, that you can build something different,
Something scalable.
sustainable.
Yep. A business that actually delivers income, independence, and importantly, options. Real choices.
Okay, that sounds like what everyone wants. So Jim Thomas lays out a 5-part framework to get there, right? To move from being trapped to being free.
That's the structure. 5 key areas.
Let's walk through them then. We should really dig into these traps he talks about, and more importantly, the strategies he suggests to break free.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, first things first, stabilizing your finances. Seems foundational.
It absolutely is. Jim Thomas says, look, too many owners are just flying blind here.
They're so caught up in training clients or just dealing with the latest crisis, putting out fires, basically.
Right. And they're not looking at the numbers, the ones that actually determine if they'll sink or swim.
Exactly. He compares it to building a house on shaky ground.
Mm.
You wouldn't do it, right?
Mm.
But financially, that's what happens.
So what does he call the trap when it comes to finance?
Well, it's a few things. It's guessing at your margins instead of knowing them cold. Ignoring your break-even point, like how much do you need to make just to keep the lights on.
Okay.
It's mixing up personal and business money, which gets messy fast. And it's kind of just avoiding the financial reality, putting your head down and hustling harder, hoping that solves it.
That sounds stressful and risky.
Hugely risky. He gives this example. A gym doing, say, $50 a month in revenue looks great, right?
Yeah.
But if they're spending $49K,
Whoa. Yeah, they're one unexpected bill away from disaster.
precisely. One slip up and it could all fall apart.
Mm.
His point is, without that financial clarity, you're always vulnerable.
Okay, so that paints a clear picture of the trap. What about getting out? What are the freedom strategies for stabilizing things? What do you actually do?
Right, the practical stuff. It starts with a full-on financial audit. You need to know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, and what your real profit margins are. No guesswork.
An audit sounds serious.
It is, but it's necessary. Then he suggests creating a weekly financial dashboard, not just, a pile of reports.
A dashboard, like key numbers at a glance.
Exactly. Tracking the vital signs, your revenue, especially recurring stuff like EFTs, plus any upfront cash. Your payroll as a percentage of that revenue, super important. Lead flow, member churn rate, and how much cash you actually have in reserve.
Okay, that makes sense. Seeing it all in one place.
And critically, separate business and personal finances. Like draw our line. Get an accountant or bookkeeper who actually gets the business industry.
That specialization probably helps a lot.
Definitely. Know your break even. Know your monthly burn rate, how much cash you're going through. And actively look for those profit leaks. Places where money's just dribbling away, and plug them.
So fix the leaks before trying to fill the bucket faster.
You got it. His core message on finance is stabilization has to come before you even think about serious growth. Build that solid foundation first.
Okay, solid advice. That leads us nicely into the second pillar he talks about. And this one I think really hits home for a lot of owners. It's about systems and actually paying yourself.
Oh, yeah, this is a big one. Jim Thomas sees so many owners just constantly in the weeds. Meaning they're doing everything themselves because, well, they're the only ones who know how to do everything, or they think they are.
Which leads straight to burnout, right? And probably inconsistency in how things get done.
Totally. Burnout, inconsistency, and often the owner gets paid last, if at all. It's like their own salary is an afterthought.
So the trap here is that owner dependency again, isn't it? If every single thing, big or small, has to go through you.
How can you scale? How can the business survive if you take a vacation or get sick? Jim Thomas is clear. If there are no documented processes, no automation, there's no predictable payday for the owner either. You're just stuck working in it constantly.
Not on it.
Exactly. That classic distinction.
So how do you escape that? How do you build systems that actually let you step back and get paid?
The strategy, according to Jim Thomas, is building repeatable systems for, well, basically everything.
Everything. Like what specifically?
Lead generation and how you follow up. Sales presentations and closing the deal.
Yeah.
How you onboard new members, making that experience smooth and consistent.
Okay.
How you deliver training programs. Billing, scheduling, communication, both internal and with clients. Even how you train and hold your staff accountable.
It all needs a system. That sounds like a lot of systems.
It is, but you build them piece by piece.
Yeah.
He recommends creating clear job roles, writing down standard operating procedures, SOPs, basically your step-by-step guides.
Documenting it all.
Yes. And automating where you can, using CRMs, email autoresponders, scheduling tools. Take the manual work off your plate.
Makes sense. Leverage technology.
Right. And his core insight here is powerful. If it only works when you're working, it's not really a business. It's just a dependency on you.
And the paying yourself part.
Crucial. You have to pay yourself first. Treat your own salary like any other fixed expense. Even if it's small to start, make it non-negotiable. Build it into the budget.
That discipline sounds key. Okay, so we have stable finances and now systems that don't rely solely on the owner. What's pillar number 3?
This flows directly from systems. Building a business that truly doesn't rely on you being there all the time.
Right, because you can't scale if you're needed 24/7. Jim Thomas warns about that ceiling, doesn't he? The one you hit when the business is you.
He does. And the trap here is pretty clear. It's being the only trainer, the only salesperson, the only manager. Every decision needs your sign-off.
And there's often that fear of letting go, right? No one can do it like me.
Exactly that fear. Or just thinking it's faster to do it yourself in the short term. But the long-term cost is huge.
What's the cost?
The business basically has zero market value separate from you.
Yeah.
If you wanted to sell, what are you selling? Just your job, really. There's no future beyond your own burnout point. It's a dead end for growth.
Okay, that's a stark warning. So how do you actually break free? How do you stop being the bottleneck?
The freedom strategy is about systematically hiring and training key people, even if you start part-time.
Like bringing on a manager or a lead trainer?
Precisely. Maybe a team lead or a head coach. Someone you can start delegating real responsibility to. The goal is to build a chain of command where you aren't automatically at the top for every little thing.
Removing yourself from the day-to-day.
Gradually, yes. Jim Thomas suggests starting by delegating daily operations. Then, maybe take yourself off the training schedule 1 day a week. Then 2.
Little by little.
Yep. And empower people with accountability. Use checklists, dashboards, KPIs, those key performance indicators, so everyone knows what's expected and how they're doing.
And documentation again.
Absolutely critical. Document everything. Processes, tasks, the client journey, how communication flows. It all needs to be written down so it's repeatable by others.
So the system becomes the product, not you.
You nailed it. His insight is, you're not the product. The system is. Build a machine that can run whether you're there or not.
That's a huge mental shift for a lot of founders, I bet. Which brings us to point 4. Many owners just pour everything back into the business, right?
Constantly reinvesting, yeah. It feels like the right thing to do, building the asset.
But Jim Thomas says your gym should create personal wealth, not just business revenue. That feels like a controversial idea almost.
It can feel that way, but it's crucial. He points out another trap here, one that's often invisible.
What are the signs of that trap?
Things like having no personal emergency funds set aside, putting 100% of profits back into the gym, always. Having zero investments outside the business. No long-term financial plan for yourself.
So the business becomes the end goal, not the means to an end.
Exactly. He says the business becomes the goal instead of the tool it's supposed to be. You end up serving the business's needs above your own financial future.
Right. So what are the practical steps? How do you make sure the business is funding your life, not just its own existence?
Okay, the freedom strategy here gets personal. First step, build a 6-month personal emergency fund. And this is vital. Keep it totally separate from your business cash reserves.
Okay, a personal safety net.
Absolutely. Then make it a habit. Use a portion of the business profits to pay down your personal debt, mortgage, student loans, whatever. And contribute consistently to retirement accounts.
Looking beyond the business itself.
Yes, he strongly advises diversifying your income streams. Don't have all your eggs in the gym basket.
Like what kind of diversification?
Could be anything, really. Rental properties, maybe dividend stocks, developing online coaching products, making silent investments in other businesses, maybe even exploring franchises. Spread the risk, build other assets.
And how you pay yourself comes into this too.
Definitely. He says, think about paying yourself in two ways. One, salary for being the operator, the person working in the business day to day, and another distribution as the investor owner, reaping the rewards of the asset you're building.
Interesting distinction.
And maybe the most important part, don't feel guilty about building your own personal security. Your business should support your life. That's its purpose.
Wow. That's powerful. Your business exists to fund your life, not just your business expenses. Okay, that really changes the perspective.
It really does.
Which leads us to the final pillar, number 5. Jim Thomas talks about designing a company that gives you true optionality.
Yes, the ultimate goal, really.
It's not just about ownership, it's about having real choices, isn't it? The freedom to sell if you want, or step away, or keep growing, or heck, take 6 months off.
That's the dream scenario for most entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? True freedom. But Jim Thomas points out the final trap here.
Which is?
If you're the business, if everything relies on you, you don't actually have those options. You can't sell it easily because what's the buyer getting?
Yeah.
Just you.
Right. The value walks out the door if you leave.
Exactly. You can't easily grow beyond a certain point because the structure isn't there. And you sure can't leave for any length of time because it all grinds to a halt. That's the trap. No real optionality.
So how do you build that optionality in from the start, or at least start building towards it? What does that look like day to day?
He advises building your gym as if you plan to sell it one day, even if you don't. That mindset shifts everything.
How so? What does that focus you on?
It forces you to focus relentlessly on things that create transferable value, like strong recurring revenue, EFTs, memberships, programs that run without you.
Predictable income?
Exactly. Keeping member churn low and increasing the lifetime value of each client. Building a real brand, something memorable, not just a place people work out.
Something with its own identity.
Yes. And the basics we've already touched on. Maintain meticulous documentation, super clean financial books, actively manage your online reputation, and get great reviews, and develop strong leaders within your team.
So all the things that make it a good business anyway also make it sellable or runnable without you.
Precisely. His key insight here is almost a paradox. Optionality equals freedom. And the businesses that are easiest to exit, the ones with the most options baked in, are also the most enjoyable and least stressful to actually run.
That makes so much sense. Build it right and the freedom follows. What a great framework from Jim Thomas.
It really covers the journey, doesn't it?
It does. We've gone from stabilizing finances, setting up systems and paying yourself, building it so it doesn't need you 24/7, using the profits for personal wealth, and finally designing for that true optionality.
And Jim Thomas wraps it all up with a really powerful thought, I think.
What's that?
He basically says, look, growth just for the sake of getting bigger. That can be another trap.
Bigger isn't always better.
Not if it just adds complexity, stress, and more risk without actually improving your life. The real win, he argues, is a business that gives you financial security, time freedom, flexibility, long-term wealth, and crucially, peace of mind.
That sounds like the real definition of success.
It does. You absolutely can have a gym that works for you, not just because of you. You can have a team that steps up, systems that run smoothly, and a life that feels genuinely free. Stop building the cage. Start building the company.
That is a fantastic note to end on. Really actionable advice. So if you're listening and you feel like, okay, I need help with this, Jim Thomas can actually guide you through it, right?
Well, absolutely. If you want help building better systems, improving operations, boosting revenue, getting out of the day-to-day, or even turning a struggling gym around, he's the expert.
So how can people reach him?
You can contact Jim Thomas, the gym business expert, directly. His number is 214-629-7223.
Okay, that's 214-629-7223.
Okay, that's 214-629-7223. Is there an email too?
Yep, you can email him at jthomas@fmconsulting.net. That's jthomas@fmconsulting.net.
Perfect. We really hope this discussion has given you some valuable tools and maybe a new perspective on building your fitness business, building a company, not a cage.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone.